Is absolutely insane the incredible variety of ways in which we can get caught up in a fantasy of something other than what we actually directly experience as reality. The only thing we can truly actually know to exist is that which we directly experience. Everything else is either hearsay or hypotheticals or purely fabricated imaginations. For example, afterlife, whether there is one or not, we have no idea. It's fundamentally just not knowable. There's no way we can know because you're dead. And anyone that comes, what is that? wait. There's like a giant, really bright light out in the field here. What was that? Hold on. I'm near an airport, so like there's usually lots of weird lights, but that was a new one. I've been driving past this airport for 30 years. Well, I've only been driving for like 15 years, but what was that? I don't know, it's gone. Whatever it was. Anyways, there it is. What is that? Sorry for the distraction. I will get right back to the topic in a moment. See, this. You don't know if this thing actually exists. I could be completely making it up. What are they doing? It looks like some sort of construction sign. Oh no! Hold on. Give me a minute. Let me safely make it through the turn, and now I can correct you. Okay. You don't know if I even exist. All you know is that you are watching an image on your device, and that exists. That image, that thing that you are witnessing, but you don't know if I'm actually a person. I could be AI. We don't know whether or not there's an afterlife. We don't know about, like, we get caught up in these fantasies of what life could be like, but those fantasies are of like a better job or a better living situation or a better relationship or whatever. They are always wrong. They are always inaccurate. And like when you get the dream job, you discover it still sucks, just in different ways. When you get a great relationship, you realize, it's great in these ways, but I didn't realize that it also comes with these other things. Whatever. Cannot, like, you're not God. You cannot know everything. You cannot foresee everything. So anything that you can possibly imagine in your head as like a thing to go towards or to get away from are never accurate to the reality of those things. Never. And I mean, ideally we want to get as close to that as possible. We want to be as accurate as possible, but you'll never be able to account for everything. There will always be something unaccounted for or unexpected. The only thing you can actually truly know is this. Whatever is your day-to-day experience of life, the situation that you are in. For example, like, I, for most of my life, have been all about the environment, the ecosystems, the climate crisis, etc. But the more I really question it, the more I'm like, I don't actually understand it. I am just trusting the experts. I don't understand it in the way that, like, I understand that I exist. I know I exist. I have to. Because if I didn't, I would not be able to have the experience of existing, right? Like, I think therefore I am. I know that. I'm pretty dang sure. Like, you never want to be like 100% confident in everything, because you always want to be open to like being wrong or being corrected. But like, seriously, I cannot possibly comprehend or imagine any way in which I could be wrong about that. I could also say, like, I don't know what this external reality is. Is it all a hallucination? Is it all a projection of my subconscious? Is it all a simulation inside of a computer? Is it all something that actually tangibly exists outside of me? I have no idea. I cannot possibly prove or disprove any of those hypotheses. But what I can know is that I am experiencing something. Whatever this reality is that I perceive as something separate from me definitely exists. It is something. Maybe it's all just a hallucination in my head. You genuinely don't know. But I know that there's something here. And so, like, when I really question literally everything I know, and I realize I don't know the climate crisis the way I know other things. I still do think, based on the information I've seen so far, that it almost certainly, or I will say certainly, does exist. Unless if I get new information. That's why I never want to be 100% confident in something. You always want to remain open to new information, because that new information will either show you that you were wrong or further confirm that you were right. Either way is a win. Always remain open to new information, no matter what. No matter what. Zero exceptions to that. And that's something that I can also consider to be like among my first principles, my foundational truths, is that we should always remain open to new information. That's one of those things that I'm like 100% confident, like 99% sure, because you always want to remain open to new information. But like, I am confident. That's something I'm willing to bet my life on. That is something that I'm willing to stand behind. I think the phone might fall. I'm a little worried about it. Okay, we're good. Anyway, so this is all there is. And it's just, I know that I'm not able to convey the emotional or psychological or like perspective or perception shift that's happened recently, to where I'm understanding these concepts in a grounded, secure, like extremely confident way. I know that I'm not able to convey that as effectively as I would like to, because I've heard these concepts a billion times, but for some reason recently it's clicked differently. And since then, I have been noticing just how much of everything that we think is this solid, unquestionable thing is actually total bullshit. Like, so many things are just nonsense. Or maybe not nonsense, but not things that we can be of that certainty about. I think agnosticism, open-mindedness is always the best option until you can truly know in the way that I know I exist. Because, like I said, if I didn't exist, I would not have the experience of existing. And it's self-evident. It's like, I cannot possibly comprehend or imagine any potential thing that could undermine that and prove me wrong. It's so foundational that, like, I would literally fight to the death over it. No, because then I'm like, no, actually, I was trying to come up with like a very intense, extreme example, but actually it's quite the opposite. It is like, I'm so confident in it that, like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm not even going to bother fighting you about it. Like, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I don't exist, like, just get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not even going to fight you at all. I'm not even going to bother talking to you. I think that's a more accurate statement. Yeah. I think I would just like to wrap this up with a lovely little story I've heard many, many times that feels relevant, which is, and I'm going to butcher all the details, but I will tell it approximately. Once upon a time, there was a farmer, and a random horse wandered into his field, and the whole community was like, "Hey, this is great!" Or wait, no, sorry, it starts the other way. The whole community is like, "Uh-oh, that's not good. This horse is gonna trample all your crops." And the farmer was like, "I don't know, we'll see." And then the farmer's son managed to tame the horse. And everyone's like, "Hey, this is great. You've got a horse now. This is good for the farm." And the farmer goes, "Yeah, we'll see." And then the farmer's son gets kicked off of the horse, breaks his leg. The whole community is like, "Oh, this sucks. That's so sad. Now, like, who's going to work the farm?" And the farmer was like, "I don't know. It's all right. We'll see." And then the military comes around to draft young men for the war, and his son doesn't have to go off to war because he's got a broken leg. And everyone's like, "Hey, this is great. Your son is saved. He doesn't have to go off to war." And he just goes, "I don't know. We'll see." And then because they don't have enough young men for the war, they lose, and this like authoritarian, abusive new ruler takes over the area. And everyone's like, "Oh God, this is awful, blah, blah." And the farmer's like, "I don't know. We'll see." Right? That no matter what happens, we like to get caught up in the ups and downs of life and this is a tricky one for me. I immediately after telling this story, I just remembered why I don't like that story, because then it has us going to this like disassociative Buddhist perspective of like detachment. And on one level that can be great, because then you're not like getting caught up in the winds of life and like awful things can happen, and you can still remain calm, clear-headed, focused, and like make a reasonable, rational choice that will get you a better outcome, rather than just being like, "Oh God, everything's awful," and then making some stupid decision. But also, like, you don't want to just totally disassociate and disconnect from reality entirely. Like, that's part of the point of existing, of like, when bad things happen, it sucks. When good things happen, be happy, enjoy it, right? So never mind. I thought I was wrapping this up with a nice little story to illustrate the point, but instead I just backed myself into a corner of a different conundrum unrelated to this video that I don't feel like I have any sort of internal resolution about. That's something that I do not know, that I cannot say like, this is the thing, this is the way. Like, I don't know which side I go on. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. I hope this was helpful to you. And yeah, I would just suggest that you spend at least a little bit of time, even if it's 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, dedicated to no distractions, just questioning like, what is true in my direct experience of reality that I can absolutely say for sure, versus what are all these imagined hypotheticals that I'm like clinging on to as a way of coping with my inability to face reality, to face the pains of reality. Question everything.